Hello and welcome. It's Kane here, back again with a second YouTube video. This time I want to talk about tank division templates and building the most optimal tank division template for Hearts of Iron multiplayer. This is probably where I see the most mistakes by players, new and sometimes even experienced. And I think that's partly because there's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of wrong information out there on YouTube and even in written guides on the forums and whatnot. So I hopefully want to explain why I think those guides are wrong, why my guide is right. Let's start with a light tank template, and we'll start with talking about combat width. Now, the optimal combat width for tank divisions for almost every combat tank division is 40. Same with infantry, 40 combat width. A little bit more malleable with tank divisions. I understand sometimes you have production constraints, particularly time constraints. So if you're South Africa, perhaps you make a mistake in tooling your economy or the war starts early, you might not be able to have your 40 width heavy or light tank division that you're going to be using. If that's the case, use a 20 width, use the next best thing, but just remember the optimal is 40 and work towards tooling your division to a 40 combat width, okay? Because it is optimal, absolutely optimal. All right, let's have a look at actually what goes in the template itself. So this is a pretty standard light tank template with 4 motorized and the rest light tank up to 40 width. Okay, so this is very production intensive, even for light tanks, 960 light tanks, but it gives you insane breakthrough, a high breakthrough and good soft attack, okay? And good organization, assuming you are going down the mobile warfare doctrine, okay? If you don't go down the mobile warfare doctrine, add in an extra motorized, take away a tank, and that goes to pretty much all of the tank division templates we're going to see today. All right, now this is very production intensive, but it is very strong. Now, if you want to skimp a little bit, or well, actually just be a little bit cheaper, and this is what I do, I definitely put in SPGs. So 4 SPGs, 4 motorized, the rest lights, 40 width. You get more soft attack, which there is an argument, a lot less breakthrough, but more soft attack, and there is an argument to say that soft attack is very important, particularly with light tanks, because you're going to be pushing infantry. Now this is pretty standard, but this is what the tank division that I use as Germany and most countries, to be honest, and this is the tank division and this is the reason why. I add in light anti-air into my tank divisions, okay? This gives you some air attack, which mitigates the effects of enemy air superiority and CAS. And in this game, air superiority and CAS is super strong. So being able to mitigate that to some degree is very important. And this is actually my early game German tank division template. As the game progresses and I hit France, I add in medium tanks. But yeah, light SPGs, 4 motorized, light tanks, medium tanks, and some light anti-air just to get some mitigation of the air. As we go to medium tanks, it's basically the same story. You've got your 15, so your standard one, 4 motorized, the rest medium. This is very production intensive again, but incredibly strong. So look at the breakthrough, huge breakthrough, a little bit less soft attack, but absolutely staggering breakthrough. Again, you can add in self-propelled guns to make it cheaper, to give you more soft attack, sacrifice the breakthrough, very strong. You can less production intensive, so you can build more. But the one I use is honestly with anti-air. Now, the difference this time is I use medium anti-air to get up to 100 air attack, and I use a specific anti-air build. I use medium 2 anti-air, but I upgrade it. That is, I make it stronger. So you can see here, 4 anti-air, 1 reliability. And that gets me up to 100 anti-air, and that really does mitigate the CAS and enemy air superiority. And this is my tank division, like normal template, and I highly rate it. I can't recommend you putting anti-air in your tank divisions highly enough, to be honest. I think it's very important. I think it's something that players miss all the time, and I don't think many guides even. I don't think I've read a guide that advised it or watched a YouTube video that advised it either. And it really is important because I guess not putting anti-air in your division, it's kind of, you're rolling the dice, particularly as Soviet Union, for example. If you're the Soviet Union, you really, and you don't put anti-air in your division, you're really, in your tank divisions, you're really rolling the dice, because chances are you're not going to be able to contest the air superiority for the entire time of the war. A lot of the time you're fighting, it's going to be red. the enemy's going to have air superiority. Now, if you don't have air superiority, if you don't have anti-tank in your anti-air in your tank divisions, and the German player builds CAS, man, you're going to be in a world of pain. And honestly, it's the same with the German player. Okay, so let's say you got air superiority over here and you're crushing Russia, and then a D-Day happens. Okay, and you know, they land here with a bunch of Marines and 3k CAS and air superiority. Well, you're going to get your awesome tank divisions. Let's say you built the most powerful breakthrough tank divisions in the game, right? These are going to get de-orged and beaten by trash tier Marine divisions, okay? Like, you're going to get enveloped and defeated by Marine divisions because CAS is so... CAS 3, 3000 CAS 3 is going to just break you. So, I guess it's very arrogant. If you don't build anti-air, you're really banking a lot on you just dominating the air war. And, I mean, if you... And be fluid. Like, if you're looking at the Russian plane count, alright, you've got high encryption and it's showing low numbers, and the UK plane count's low, and you've had air superiority everywhere where you fought. Well, maybe that's the way to go. Maybe that'll give you the edge when you go into Russia, and you've got your insane breakthrough divisions, and you can beat the Russians. But honestly, I suggest having the medium anti-air, going up to 100 air attack, having the SPGs, having the medium tanks, having a huge, and you can produce a huge amount of these by the time of Barbarossa, you can really produce a lot, and as Soviet Union you can produce a fair amount of these as well. One of the biggest mistake I see other YouTubers make and guides make is they really overstate how production intensive these divisions are. Yes, they are production intensive, but if you tool the German economy correctly, they're not really. You could, if you tool the German economy by Barbarossa, you can have 20 tank divisions, 40 worth easily. Soviet Union, you tool your economy correctly, build civs until Molotov, and then build mills after that. Done correctly, you can have 4 tank divisions, 5. One of the big takeaways I think the players need to learn is that, particularly if you're playing a minor country like Canada or South Africa, you only need 1 or 2 really good tank divisions to make a big difference in the game, right? 1 or 2 really good tank divisions, not 5 crappy tank divisions, not 6 crappy tank divisions, 2 really good ones. 2 tank divisions that hold Alamein, and then when the German leaves, counterattack, encircle the Italians. Not that just, crappy tank divisions that get encircled and overwhelmed here in Alamein anyway, and then you lose them. Right, and then Canada has 4 really good 40 width tank divisions that can land here in D-Day with the Americans and then push out, create encirclements. Too often, I think other players overstate the production intensiveness of these kind of divisions and understate how effective they are, and they overstate their own 20 width divisions as really strong when they're not really compared to 40 width tanks. All right, I want to talk also a little bit about. Sorry, before we move on, you can just go anti-air, no SPGs, gets you insane breakthrough, any medium tanks, and good anti-air coverage, that's fine as well. Something I'd also like to stress is, be fluid with your templates, all right? Think about it, modify them as your production allows, build towards your ideal tank division template, change your ideal tank division template as the war progresses and as you get a feel for what your opponents and your allies are doing. If your Hungarian player who usually controls the air war is just saying, man, this air war is a joke, I'm killing 20 to 1, I've just got so many more planes, I'm winning every battle, maybe, and you're looking at the Soviet Union and they've got bugger all planes, well, you don't need necessarily anti-air, but generally that's not the case. So be fluid, move towards your ideal template as your production allows, construct your template as your production allows. All right. I also want to talk a little bit about mechanized infantry. This is something I'm seeing a lot more recently. I thought it had gone out of fashion, thankfully, but now suddenly it's coming back with a vengeance. That's a real problem. Mechanized is not worth it. All right, I'll say it again. Mechanized is not worth it. It costs 4 or 5 times as much, and the stats are not 4 or 5 times as better. Okay, I'll show you. Let's go back to motorized. All right, motorized, and motorized. What did we lose? Oh, we lost 3.6 soft attack. We lost 24 hard attack. Oh god, heaven forbid. We did lose a lot of defense, but this is the thing. Some defense, but your tanks don't defend. Your tanks attack. Breakthrough. Oh, 23 breakthrough. 1.7 piercing. Oh, Oh no, heaven forbid, you know. So it costs an obscene amount, right? This mechanized. It costs a huge amount. I played a game the other night against a Soviet player who was building mechanized in his tanks, and he had an entire line, like an entire line of this, right, on mechanized, just to outfit his 4 or 5 tank divisions with mechanized, 4 mechanized. You know, it's not worth it. You could have had so many more tanks, right? You maybe could have had 2 more tank divisions. It could have been the difference. It wouldn't have been, but yeah, it could have been potentially, right? So mechanized is not worth it. Go with motorized, unless they buff it one day. Which, you know, maybe hopefully they will. It's not worth it. All right. There's another strategy I want to talk about. This build is what I want to call like the cancer light tank build. Excuse me. A lot of people talk about, you know, breakthrough units, and you see some YouTubers that put like motorized or whatever. No, forget it. If you're gonna do this cancerous encirclement, you know, machine, I guess this is the best template. Just 20 light tanks. Honestly, I don't rate it particularly highly. I'm putting it in here to be a complete guide because a lot of people do talk highly of it. It is effective. It's very fast. You can create encirclements with it. I would just counter that a simple light tank, 40 with light tank division can create that encirclement basically almost as well and can fight at the same time. Realistically. And you'll be better at creating encirclements in my opinion because you've got higher soft attack and more breakthrough. So, you know, I think you're still better at creating encirclements than you this cancerous light tank division that I like to call. People do rate it highly though, so if you're able to make it work, good on you, well done. Take it with a grain of salt though. The other thing I want to talk about is like your heavy tank 20 width division. Again, 40 width is optimal, but sometimes production doesn't allow it. So this can be a decent tank division for say a country like the UK if the USA didn't build enough tanks or didn't build any tanks, which is often the case unfortunately. You can go for this kind of weird 20 width. Often they don't have enough army XP, as crazy as that sounds. And this can be good. This can give you a D-Day some muscle. Again, try and work towards 40 width, as always. All right, on to support equipment. Right, the main thing for support equipment is recon and engineer. That's universal, okay? The other thing I'd add on is a signal company to increase, again, your initiative, your reinforce rate. It's really important, particularly with tanks, with low organization. Yeah, signal companies are good. Maintenance companies. Now, a lot of people put maintenance companies in. If you're Germany, I wouldn't bother. Your production's so epic, you don't need it. If you're a country like Canada and you're fighting here in the freaking Algerian wilderness with terrible terrain, out of supply, losing tanks to attrition, Canada's a country, I suppose, there's not a lot of production capabilities. Putting on maintenance to reduce your attrition losses definitely can be worth it. Perhaps same with South Africa as well. If you're Sweden, yeah, if you're building tanks to Sweden or Romania, you can choose. Yeah, there's definitely an argument for it. Don't put field hospitals. Don't put support artillery. It's not needed. Don't put military police. Logistics anti-air probably not worth it either. And yeah, definitely don't put anti-tank in there either. It's definitely not needed. All right. Yeah. So in closing, takeaway from this. These aren't the big things to take away. These kind of awesome Terminator tank divisions, right? They're not as production intensive as a lot of people lead you to believe. Anti-air in your tank division is incredibly important. I would highly recommend it. Be fluid in your tank design. Adapt to the situation at hand. Tank division templates have to be more adaptable than your infantry division templates, much more. So think, use your brain, plan out your game, plan out your templates as you progress, change your production as you plan. All right, last thing, yeah, I have moved towards these, I've changed to the pleb unit counters as opposed to the NATO counters. Some people were saying that they don't like the NATO or can't understand the NATO counters. So this is the pleb counters. I kind of like NATO more, but tell me in the comment section, do you like the pleb ones more than the NATO or NATO more than the pleb? And I'll use whichever one gets the most upvotes from now on. All right, thanks for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure. Tell me if I've missed something, or you think I've made a mistake. If you think I've made a mistake, or you've got an even better tank division template, maybe you do something different. But definitely, as always, have an argument. I don't want to hear, you know, Feedback Gaming said this, the forum said this, Hearts of Iron Reddit said that. No, give me an argument. Give me a proper explanation as to why your division is right and mine is wrong. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.